So here we are. It's beautiful autumn on the McGill campus. The students are working very hard on the next production, Giulio Cesare, Julius Caesar. They're also working on learning A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Whose flute? Great.
The whole project is an experiment where we're bringing together opera and theatrical practice and literary study. And the students are not guinea pigs. The students are fellow researchers in this project.
You have rosy cheeks.
I have rosy cheeks.
You have rosy cheeks.
The thing that was exciting about the second Shakespeare session was that we did an entire hour of acting techniques with Paul Hopkins.
I pulled out some Meisner technique. There's a fundamental exercise in the Meisner methodology called the repetition exercise.
There's a lion on your shirt.
There's a lion on my shirt.
So I really wanted to teach them that and get them connected to each other and really, just being themselves and being authentic and listening to impulses and listening to each other.
When we're doing operas, it's like so much is decided for us. How do we make it honest? And using the Meisner technique is a great way to make your work really honest.
We're so inside of ourselves because we have to deal with the music, the rhythms. At the same time, we have to deal with the conductor that often we forget about the person we're acting with.
Good acting is listening. It's paying attention to the other person on stage.
So right now they are working on the music, and when that happens, typically a singer stops thinking about the text, and they just think about what are the notes, what are the rhythms, what do I have to do to learn this music? And it was great to take a step back, think about the text, think about the Shakespeare, think about the source material, and then how is that transferring? How did that Shakespeare work its way in? One Titania, and one Titania, yeah. So Titania.
We split them into two groups, so we actually staged two groups doing the exact same scene, very fast and sloppy, and also very quick interpretation. And I think by doing that, one of the things we did was we just let them play with it. We just let them see all the sort of possibilities without getting too precious about anything.
Your mother into Master Peas cod, your father. Good Master Peas blossom.
Bottom, can I stop you and ask you what happened? When did you become such a courtier?
The way both Pauls approach the music is from the text because that's where they come from. And this is really what we're supposed to do as well before we get into the music.
Usually with opera monologues or something like that, the aria is 3 or 4 times longer. Like, be kind and courteous, you can say that in 20 seconds. We moved right away into 2 scenes that the students are going to be performing in public over the course of the next semester.
And being angered puffs away from thence, turning his face to the dew-weeping south.
The first scene was the Queen Mab, or Queen Mab, soliloquy, and which is also an aria by Gounod. The operatic version really loses a lot of the political commentary.
The music brought a whole other dimension, an erotic element that is not there in Shakespeare's text. So the social went out, the erotic came in.
I feel like there's got to be a way to do it so that he comes up with this concept of an ass head, something like. For example,
Shakespeare's text is not a set of instructions. It is in fact a voice, a person with whom one enters into an extended, deep conversation. And the work on the Shakespeare play to make the play sing is a process of dialogue with Shakespeare.
There were a couple of great discoveries. For instance, when Kevin Delaney was doing his flute little excerpt, and he broke into very awkward iambic pentameter.
Most radiant Pyramus, most lily white of hue.
He's a pretty timid, bad actor. I just put on a little bit of bad Shakespeare.
As true as truest horse, that yet would never tire. I'll meet thee, Pyramus, at Lily's tomb, Eines to man.
Chelsea and I are both performing the role of Titania in Britain's A Midsummer Night's Dream in January.
She's a fairy queen and beautiful and light, and really the things that she's saying and the things that she does to the creatures in her kingdom are quite dark.
Steal from the humblebees, and for night tapers crop their waxen thighs, and light them at the fiery glowworm's eyes.
So you can get caught up in the beauty of it without knowing what she does to the beauty.
We did something that we had not anticipated. We took the aria, Be Kind and Courteous, and inserted it into the Shakespeare scene and got sort of a new genre where they did the scene of the Shakespeare right up to the aria. Then I started playing, and the Titanias both broke into song.
And Titania, who's sleeping in the wood, wakes up. She's been enchanted, so as soon as she sees Bottom, she falls madly, desperately in love with him.
Be kind and courteous to us gentlemen, in his looks and gown in his eyes. Feed him with apricots and jewelry.
Acting first, it definitely made a difference. We talked about a lot of specifics in the text that I hadn't necessarily thought of before. Having more context made singing the aria a bit easier.
Well, when I sing in other languages, you have to translate it and you have to know the history of it. But with English, it's really easy to push that aside. So going through the translation of Shakespeare and going through the literary history changes the way I sing it.
You could see it reflected in their performance. And their voices, you could tell that they weren't worrying as much about their voices. And to me, their voices actually bloomed.
The iambic pentameter changed my life.
Wow.
In terms of how I saw the words and chose to accentuate different words that I would have never thought of before.
She used to do drugs and now she no longer does them.
There are lots of little changes that are happening. There are lots of connections that are being made. Working on music and trying to become an opera singer is connecting lots of dots, a lot of dots. And some acting techniques, Shakespeare's source material, or any sort of literary text as source material, those are a bunch of dots. And what's great is to see the students not just connecting the dots, but loving the process of connecting those dots.
We're all nerds for all this stuff, you know? We love working and getting into it and trying different things out. It's a lot of fun.